Nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and all other people, identifications, genders, and all that stuff. Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner, starring yours truly, your humble host, live in San Francisco, California, where things are just going peachy, and remember, in the words of Douglas Adams, don't panic. Hi, how you doing? So, just to let you all know, my phone is going crazy right now. Sorry, I have to mute all the group chats I'm in right now because they are just going off. Yeah, I have not forgotten about Doctor Who at all. And I saw a couple of people were concerned. I've got the ADD. I can only handle one thing at a time. The comic book thing is kind of big news, but I have not forgotten about RIP Doctor Who. And I know last Saturday I was on a live stream with the great Bowles Trek and Noel and Ian from Rebecca Gold. And I'm forgetting his name, but he's from the Type 40 podcast. Nice guy. And there was the Save the Day airing of the Day of the Doctor, which is a clear attempt of the fandom to kind of come back together. And I'm not against that. Absolutely watch these. I think it's a great idea. Watch all of that old Doctor Who and remind yourself how great the show used to be. But we have three distinct eras of Doctor Who now. We've got Classic Who, New Who, and Pooh Who. And Pooh Who is, you could count season 10. Some people might not argue. So we'll just say season 11 and season 12, or series 11 and series 12. And those did destroy canon. Now, the only thing that can save Doctor Who is the RIP Doctor Who hashtag, whatever that is. It's those of us who have recognized, no matter how long it took us to get there, no judging, that last episode, The Timeless Children, obliterated Doctor Who canon, as somebody very eloquently put it in the stream in a super chat last night. It was skinned and sacrificed on the altar of agenda, worse than any franchise that has come before. One of the best forms of escapism is an episode of Doctor Who. It is something you can fire up at any time, and it'll bring you joy. Even the worst episodes, which we now look at a lot different, quite frankly, don't we? We can appreciate them, the creativity that it took to do all of those classic episodes. I cannot wait to start reviewing. I'm going to start reviewing from Pertwee up, and I will do a review on the anniversary of Rose, and I'm all over it. I'm all about the fans coming together. I think they did. I think they already have, thanks to the BBC completely obliterating the show. They brought a lot more people to the side of we just want our canon respected. As I said before, we could have survived the Jodie era. We could have moved on. Yes, she would have been part of all the anniversaries and it would have been annoying, but we could have moved on. But now we can't because they weren't happy with just bringing us a female doctor filled with, the BBC's brand of politics. And for the disingenuous, larger YouTubers, I'm going to punch up. I'm not going to punch down. Any channel that has fewer subscribers, which I will call an up-and-coming channel. I don't like to call them small. They're independent channels. They're doing their thing. Who just do Doctor Who. That's your only thing. I just got to say, you got to come correct. And you know what? A couple of them have. I have to give them credit. And I will credit them in my video that a couple, no matter how their journey went with Doctor Who, they got there. And I can appreciate and respect that, although we still disagree on a lot of things. But other bigger channels who want to come out and say, it's still fixable, it's not that bad, it just adds more. That is the party line. That there's no way anybody can be okay with William Hartnell not being the first Doctor. That it's, beyond illogical. It's shillogical. It's shillogic. Yes, you can have that. Shillogic, TM. Let's see who's here. Oh my God, there he is. Noel from the TARDIS Zone. What's up? The one thing I do not discuss on the live stream is I know there's a lot going on in the world right now, and I think it's kind of my job to take your mind off it for a little while. So I will not be discussing that or numbers or anything. I will leave that to sources who have knowledge on that, and hopefully they are all giving you very good information. We're here to talk about pop culture, which still is important. I think normalcy, some type of normalcy is important, as Critical Drinker said at the end of his Wonder Woman video, which I highly recommend you watch, by the way. His Wonder Woman 84 video. Perfect. Guy's great, man. Guy is so good. And I just feel like I need I'm going to put out a Doctor Who video tomorrow. It'll be out tomorrow. And I will be doing my first response video to a larger YouTuber, What Culture, a channel I used to subscribe to a couple, 3 years ago. And it's actually one of the 2 channels I've unsubscribed from. I usually don't unsubscribe from people. We can disagree on stuff and I can still enjoy. But I have unsubscribed from What Culture. That was a while ago when I saw them shilling for Doctor Who. And another channel who will not be named because they were pushing a very a political book. It was very disappointing. It was a channel I've watched for a long time. So with the polling results that we got from Doctor Who TV, I'll pull them up in a second. They asked if the Timeless Children had destroyed Doctor Who canon or not. And it was surprisingly a very tight poll. 50% said yes and 40% said no. That's a ridiculously stupid high number. The only data I need to show them are the ratings for the Timeless Children here in the States and in the UK. Enough said. Argument's over. There's no way you can spin that. People actively turned off the show. They walked away. And it'll be very interesting to see how the Christmas ratings turn out. Will they be good? I don't think so. I don't think they'll be anywhere near what normal Christmas ratings are. I don't think it's going out on a limb and saying, I don't think they'll get the 8 million that they used to get on Christmas. 7-8 million. I believe even during the Capaldi era, they got extremely good ratings and great consolidated ratings. As a matter of fact, I'll go check. I'm pretty sure I was looking at those the other day and they were really high. So that's why they were high for not airing a Christmas episode, although I'm kind of glad they did it during the Jodie era. So again, let's see who's here. Let me get over here. We've got Ensign Ricky. Hello, Ensign Ricky. Ryo Stu, Christopher S., Nick Palmisano, Lee DeCador, Professor Thascalus, what's up, the master, Liger fan, Pretty Rick, Rick, you are pretty, Pretty Rick Sanchez. At least it's not Pretty Dirty Sanchez. Mark Lazert and his wrench. What's up, Mark? Simon Parkin, Apocrypha, AC Dude, Rock Doc, Jody Bowie. Oh, what's up, Jody Bowie? Harry Godfrey, Christopher S., Jimmy Dennis, Michael O. as a member. Welcome. Jason Gallagher, Tracy Adams, Sassy Marie. And thank you for the news. We did get some news from Diamond Comics. They're doing a digital first thing and they will not be shipping any comics. So they finally said something. Let's give it up for Diamond. It only took them a week. The government acted faster than Diamond, but that's not a surprise. And I've got more news on that. There's Ian from Rebecca Gold. What's up? Mike Drop. How you doing? Stellar Heather, the member. Moogle Migdar, Tekaman Blade, what's up? Christopher S., who I've said hello to already, but we can do it again. Darth Scipio, and Eric K. Eric K., member and a wrench. And welcome, everybody. I don't know how many people are going to be able to see the live stream. Things have been very weird on YouTube. We know they're on a skeleton crew, so I can't, I'm not going to be that critical. But it's just been wonky, we'll just say. Last night's Inquisition will be up on the channel on Nerdrotic Live in a couple of hours. It'll be probably after this one, and then I'll put this one up there tonight. Yes, I have an alternate channel, which just passed 20,000 subs, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. All the live streams go over there. That's where they're archived, so they don't mess with the algorithm over here. Well, we want to start. Let's go to Doctor Who TV. Now, yeah, I believe they're going to do the next viewing they're going to do is Rose on the anniversary, and that's great. I would say I'll be using the RIP Doctor Who hashtag for that. Here we go. The poll results are revealed. Tell me if you agree with these things or not. Let's get over there. Okay, and we're going to have to move that over a little bit. Sorry, I got to get my window ready there. That's more like it. Self-produced show, folks. And there we have the poll results. I'm happy. Chibnall added to the canon, 40.49%. Bullshit. I try not to cuss early on in the live streams. It does make a difference. And I'm sad. And look at how they worded that. I'm happy. I'm sad. No, it's anger. It's anger, which, is an anger it's an overlying feeling of fear or sadness or combined. 59.51%. I don't believe that. Following the broadcast of Series 12 finale, The Timeless Children, Doctor Who TV asked you to vote on the controversial reveal of the Timeless Child. Thousands of you voted, and we can now reveal the results. As you can see, there was this was unsurprisingly a fan-splitting topic, but in the end, just shy of 60% of the voters felt that the reveal damaged Doctor Who canon. That's the ones who are left. You have to factor in, again, the ratings. The fact that nobody watched the show. Nobody watched the show. This is the biggest reveal in Doctor Who history. It's the worst reveal, but it's also the biggest. And this is what you got. P.S. We can see, whatever. Don't be all cutesy about it. I don't believe it. So yeah, and also listen, they're a site that I went to for a long time, and it's called Doctor Who TV. Their entire existence relies on Doctor Who. That's why it's good to mix things up, that's just saying. But let me get this window off here. Okay. And I meant to talk about it last night, but we didn't talk about it last. There's there is a movement to try to counteract us. Now, I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter. I don't know what's going on, but according to Bull's Trek, there is a small corner that is blaming Bull's Trek and myself for driving people away from Doctor Who with our reviews. Like, we drove people away. Like, the show is actually good, but we're driving people away. Instead of maybe Chris Chibnall is driving people away. I would say since he wrote the show and since the BBC aired the show and people didn't like it so much that they didn't want to finish the season, I would say it was their fault. I don't have that kind of influence. Listen, I'm in the grand scheme of things on YouTube, I am small potatoes. There is channels with millions of subs I have never heard of. So I guarantee you there's millions, billions of people who have never heard of my channel or Bull's Trek's channel. And that is just, but there's probably millions of people who haven't heard of Doctor Who anymore either because it sucked for so long. But that being said, no, they can try to spin that as much as they want. It's not true. I don't have that kind of influence. I just reacted to what was aired and it wasn't good. I'm not going to lie to you. It did permanent damage to a show that we have all loved for a very, very long time. And it's happening in comics. It's actually been happening longer in comics. And I always have believed that comic books are the proving ground for all of this. And they started ignoring data around 2015-16. All of a sudden, mass media, entertainment media, the BBC, comic books, DC Comics started ignoring real data and started believing data they wanted to believe. And believe me, there's plenty of organizations out there, Parrot Analytics, who will get paid a lot of money to tell you what you want to hear. And I mean, you reap what you sow with that. Sorry. Actually, I'm not. John T. Levine for £9.99. Gary, remember Doctor Who CGI frog that we all liked for fun of it, right? Well, imagine my amusement when I found out that the special effect was recycled from a 2017 episode, The Worst Witch, continued below. Really? They recycled that special effect? No way. That is hilarious. I'm going to have to look now. Hang on. Frog from The Worst Witch. Oh, Mildred the Frog. Let me see here. I'm going to try to pull it up. I mean, did they just use the frog, maybe? I can't say. Maybe. I don't know if this is the right cut or not. So I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the BBC doesn't have a lot of money. And we don't expect great CG from Doctor Who. I don't need that. I don't need great special effects. I need writing, acting, a story that makes sense. Right? It doesn't have to make sense, but story that honors the great William Hartnell and all the doctors and all the writers who came before. And yeah. Christopher Arcella for $5. Hey, Gary, how are things going? You know when you'll do a Super Chat Square for Friday Night Tights Super Chats? Probably tonight. Christopher. I record them with my patrons, then I pop them up. And it'll probably be like an hour-long show. There was a lot. But I would guess tonight. Mr. Anonymous, the anonymous Mr. Smith is a member at the Joel Oja level. I welcome you. Thank you. Thank you for jumping on board. We will discuss other news, but I wanted to hit Doctor Who hard today because it'd been a few days and I got so fired up by that What Culture video. And I'll probably go over it on a live stream too, but I'm taking a little different approach. I'm going to try to make something in their aesthetic. Because, What Culture does the top 5 reasons, like top 5 things you didn't notice in Iron Man or something like that. It's always pretentious, assuming that we didn't notice things, and it's generally stuff we already noticed. We also, so we've heard Mrs. Nerdrotic just let me know that Diamond will not be delivering comics. That's good. I don't know if we've gotten a statement yet from DC Comics. I was doing a member stream prior to this. We did the Inquisition last night. We saw Westworld last night. It was a little bit of a better episode. I'm not too sure people cared, and I doubt there's any ratings on it yet. I will check. Finale. And we know Marvel Studios shut down, and Disney's in big trouble. Big trouble. Their credit rating got downgraded, and it turns out their revenue streams are not bringing in as much money. They were basically painting a very rosy picture over there, and now the picture is not very rosy, apparently. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. I mean, it looks like, yeah, it's all the thing that shall not be named news. So we'll just stick with Doctor Who, shall we? I think that's good. A small vocal minority of 60% are upset with improvements and innovations made by visionary creative Chibs the Idiot, proving that isms are rampant in our culture. I can spin too, says MT. They are clearly, we have not come around to the BBC's way of thinking. They are clearly way more enlightened than we are. I mean, obviously, they're British and they work at the BBC. So pleb Americans and people in the English countryside, basically non-Londoners. I know there's some of you out there are Londoners too, so don't worry. We don't count you in that. Are just dumb mouth breathers who shouldn't be watching it. Remember their statement. Their response was, "I'm sorry you attached yourself to certain particular elements of the show." It's like, oh my God. It's like them slowly raising a middle finger, like doing this. That whole statement was that. And I'll just keep making videos, you jackasses. What's up, Aaron? Thanks for the super chat. I'll get to it in a second. So when we go forward with, by the way, everything's going to change in entertainment. As far as, for example, Doctor Who was relying on HBO Max. HBO Max has not opened up yet. They have not dropped their service yet. And it was supposed to, let me see, I think it was a couple of months. That's being delayed now. So HBO Max being delayed. I doubt it affects the production of Series 13, but I don't know when they were going to start shooting, but that's going to get delayed. Everything's pushed off now. So, and that's bad luck. I mean, I want the show. Yes, I want the show to get canceled under normal circumstances. How's that? So, I don't know when the plan, it was supposed to be launched May 2020. And it still might be launched May 2020. I don't know. I mean, they're going to have people on site working. That would be my guess. So and considering Hollywood shut down right now, I'm just thinking everything's delayed at the very least a couple of months, probably more. We'll see. As I've said before, San Francisco is supposed to, they have an end date for their lockdown of April 7th. No, I don't think so. Yeah, but no definitive date on HBO Max, and I doubt they started shooting Doctor Who or Star Trek Picard Season 2 as well. So everything's done. So, and what I said in my Marvel videos, what I've said in my Doctor Who videos, this is what we wanted to avoid. Situations like this, where, there's downturns or acts of God, and then you're left with a split fandom. You completely destroyed a show. You burned through all that goodwill and that big, fat pile of cash you were sitting on. And now you're left with what? With fans organizing Save the Day, bringing that out of nowhere. And that's good. Again, I mean, like, honestly, I think it's a great idea to watch old Doctor Who to kill some time. But do you see it differently now? Some people have said yes. Some people have said no. It's actually a cure. And I would believe that. It'd probably cleanse your palate a little bit. You go watch your favorite Doctor Who episode. but the attitude is still there. Even with all of this, there's, even in comics, some of the people are trying to reach out. I mean, it's for selfish reasons because they have to, I don't know, move to YouTube and they want to get in some YouTubers, not mine, but some YouTubers' good graces so they can pitch their product and they can come over to this platform because they've seen it's worked for other people. Problem is, as far as comic book creators are concerned, they're way too late. They should have done that 2 years ago. And a lot of these creatives and comic books have been as nasty, if not nastier, than Chris Chibnall and the people on the JodyBot side. And remember, we're comparing people who we called them snowflakes, we called them PC, we called them SJWs, and they called us people who like to. There's you know what I'm saying, istophobe. That's what we'll say. I can't say it on the damn live stream, but we got to be very careful right now because again, there's a skeleton crew at YouTube, and this thing could get ghosted in a second. So if I say the wrong thing, it disappears. What's been happening is people's live streams will show up on the left-hand side in your subscription feed. If you're on a desktop and you're looking at your YouTube subscriptions, you'll see people live on the left, but they won't be in your feed. And that's a glitch in the system. I have tried to contact somebody. I do have a contact. They are not there, so I did try. I started watching Series 2, Tenant Run, and I am now bemoaning the loss of Doctor Who, says Legacy Game Mastering, for $5. Yeah, and it's gone for good, folks. It's what the title of this live stream, only RIP Doctor Who can save the day. The Fandom Menace, what they were able to do, what that hashtag was able to do was be effective. It didn't save Star Wars. Not saying it saved Star Wars. But prior to what happened in the last couple of weeks, it saved it for future generations. Like there's still something there that you can make that maybe future Star Wars fans can enjoy if they produce some new characters that are actually likable, because the old characters are now gone. They're completely vandalized, and the only people hanging on are the Enabler fans and the Google fans, as named by the great Mark C. And the critically thinking fan is just gone. Now, there are many different types of fans, and none of them are bad. Everybody can have their own thing. They can exist, even Raylos. If you go off, that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to interact with you, but that's fine. It's who the owners of the franchises choose to listen to. That's the important thing. Again, any fan you can like Jody, that's fine. I don't mind, but I am part of the camp that doesn't like Chris Chibnall and doesn't like what he did. And the argument goes further than just being PC and woke. It's just horribly written. The characters are paper thin. This constantly gets brought up. Yaz. Often you hear like, oh, their only argument is that it's PC and woke. Well, I mean, that's a good argument. It's a very good argument, and I'll explain it further in my video, but it limits your ability to tell a good story. Yaz, for instance, what do we know about Yaz? She's a cop who doesn't go to work. She sits down better than anybody, or just stands there better than anybody, and she was bullied by Who in high school, and she met a strong, powerful female cop who gave her a pep talk, and it saved her life. Yaz obviously had a very good life. Her family took care of her. And that's all we know about this character. We knew more about Martha Jones in the first 5 minutes. We knew more about Mickey in the first 5 minutes. Yeah. That's the argument. And this can't be fixed because it happened on screen. So say they just retcon everything. Westworld last night retconned a lot of their problems in a scene, in a single scene. I'd say two scenes. They just undid all of the mistakes. Well, major mistakes they did with two major characters that were my biggest problems with the show. Now, what they do with it going forward, I don't know, but they did it. So they're capable. I mean, that's a bigger production than Doctor Who. I think if there's going to be retconning going on, it will be somebody else. It won't. Chibnall's not going to retcon himself. Come on, that guy's way too in love with his writing. He is still convinced he's brilliant. Like I said before, he's waiting for us to come around. He's waiting for us to come around. Have you know? Oh God, I usually I'll Google Doctor Who news, and you can't do that right now. It doesn't come. Not a lot of Doctor Who stuff comes up. Here we go. And we're going to get more surprise extra material. I don't want to click on any of these, especially Radio Times, who was complicit in trying to push the narrative that we are some kind of that the reason we were back, there was a backlash against Doctor Who was because of Jo Martin, the first female Doctor played by Jo Martin. Somehow we were against her. And no, we weren't. For the record, if you've watched any of our, just watch our live streams. We always said that she made Jodie look bad. I wouldn't want her as the Doctor. I don't want her being before William Hartnell, but she played the part better than Jodie. She made her look silly, quite frankly. But that was a nice try. It died. That narrative died, as it should have. But back to the Fandom Menace was effective with saving Star Wars for future generations, getting Disney to come correct, getting them to rethink The Last Jedi. And while that pissed off a lot of Access Media members because they thought they were good little soldiers and they were invited to free premieres and they got free trips to Disneyland, they felt betrayed. And that's why the whole narrative of it being fan service, and of course it's not. You brought back Palpatine. That was dumb. We're going to have to do the same thing. It's going to be very hard because the numbers just flat out aren't there. So many people have been driven away by Doctor Who. I know a lot of you around here are still watching it, but I mean, more often than not, I'm hearing that people gave up and they're just not going to go back. And this is a show that was so freaking popular, and it's kind of astonishing how quickly the BBC squandered that. Either Chibnall did something awesome or the fandom covering for bad writing. Fandom always cleaning up after. Legend of Traveling TARDIS radio show. Says Christian Basil for $5. Yes, and he has a podcast called The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show. So, yeah, Christian, Chibnall didn't do anything awesome. He's not capable of writing good science fiction or anything with levity. He's not capable of being funny. You have to be a funny person to write comedy. You have to be a charming, witty, kind of quick on your feet person to write the kind of humor that works in Doctor Who. And the same goes for Star Trek on a different level, but you have two humorless people running those shows. Alex Kurtzman, Chris Chibnall. I mean, they don't exactly look like lives of the party, do they? But I would have to say, even for, a nerd can be the life of the party. And even for nerds, well, Kurtzman's not a nerd. He's a poser. Chibnall's a nerd. He's just not a very good one. Geek Union. Nobody knows our sorrow. Ha ha, poo poo, poo poo hoo, ha ha ha, says Geek Union for £2. Yes, the poo hoo era. I miss Moffat as a writer, says Corpo for £5. Loved first episodes of season 6 or The Weeping Angels. Mixed record showrunner, but best episodes. Love your channel. Thank you. I like series 5 and 6 quite a bit. The Wedding a River song is a mess, but I still enjoy it. And if you watch it now, it's much better. And I liked her early stuff. It was later where they ruined her. I loved her as a character. I thought it was a great, and listen, her action figure, at least it was, I'm not sure if it still is, was one of the more rare ones from the Tenet era. And it was expensive. It used to be like $100. Daniel for $10. When I was young, Doctor Who taught me wonder. When I was an adult, New Who brought me joy at a depressing time. When I die, I want a casket made out of Pooh original prints and to be cremated in it. Daniel's angry. Daniel's still angry. It's one thing to vandalize a show in its current form. It's another thing. It's a vindictive thing what Chris Chibnall did. They straight up stole something from you that doesn't, from Daniel and from me and from you, that doesn't belong to him. Technically, it belongs to the BBC. I will argue that anything that's been around for 50 years, I'd say the fans have a little bit of ownership in that. They do. And if you don't think so, well, just piss a bunch of them off and see how well your show does. And then we can argue about entitlement or whatever after that. The only thing that show will be entitled to do is collect dust. That freaking fan entitlement. You know who writes those articles? And listen, there's a lot of great 20-somethings out there. I'm sure we have them in the chat. I don't mean to besmirch all of you, but I'm talking particular about the access media. The access media is not different than comics. There's people working in the access media to get jobs in other places. It's a stepping stone. And right now, or at least the last few years, Access Nerd Media was a good place to get a job. A lot of the professional Collider-esque YouTube channels, I want to say, listen, Collider did have legit nerds working there. It did. But other places like New Rock Stars have comedians looking to be comedians, and they dabble in nerd a little bit. Or I don't know. I mean, like, I would say the guys at What Culture are legit nerds, although they have their stuff written for them. You know, obviously I don't write. I know, big surprise. That's the problem, is these 20-somethings who are new to it and they don't have enough nerd experience to be arbiters on this. And you do have to have that if you're writing articles, especially top 10 moments in Doctor Who, listicles, that crap. You have to have some knowledge about it. Now, you don't necessarily have to be old, not at all. You could be really obsessive and have just watched every Doctor Who episode that's out there multiple times by the time you're 20. Of course, that happens all the time. So it's not a matter of age, but you can see it. You can see the lack of nerd, and it doesn't mean you can't be a nerd, or all are welcome. Just, I don't know, you don't want to walk around being an authority on anything. I don't consider myself an authority. I just talk about what I know. I'm not, as I said last night, I wouldn't name myself like the Trek spurt or the Who spurt. Rebecca Gold. Ian, what's up? £5. Keep up the good work, Gary. Bullocks to the Chibnalls. Bullocks. Straight up Bullocks. That guy's got bullocks for his brains. Chibnalls writes scripts using color by numbers and big crayons. Big crayons. Or Crayolas. What do you call them in the UK? Zero Duality. Oh, Zero Duality. It's a very deep name there. 2 Canadian pesos. Thank you, Zero Duality. Richard Worrell for £10. On behalf of the Brit Doctor Who fans, F the BBC and Hollywood, they are the destroyers of dreams and our childhoods. Side note, I really wanted to like Picard, but it's painful to watch R.I.P. Trek. Yes, Richard, I wanted to like Picard too. I really did. I genuinely was going to probably give it more of a chance than it deserved. And then Patrick Stewart came out with that interview in Variety. That's my most watched Star Trek video. And I'm not the best judge of what I do. Obviously, I'm biased when it comes to me. So apparently that's my most angry video. I didn't feel angry. I felt annoyed, but if you haven't checked it out, I spent a couple of days on that video. I was mad that article was unnecessary, and it's not about what he said. It was the timing. He can have his opinions. I don't care, but what have we been talking about just the last couple of weeks with comic books, with Star Trek, with Doctor Who, with, Jodie Whittaker saying, the practice in the male gaze. Dan Slott telling his audience to F off if you like the Orange Man. Basically, Sir Patrick Stewart telling you to F off if you were pro-Brexit and you are pro-Orange Man. Prior to your show coming out on a struggling streaming service on a network that was going through a merger that doesn't look like it's going to happen now. Let's take a look at the CBS stock, shall we? And I'm not happy about this. Oh, that's not right. CBS, Viacom, stock. $11.28. Now it's steady, and that's good. I don't know. I've heard from my insider that the merger, here, I'll show it to you guys, that the merger isn't going to go through, but I haven't heard anything definitive on that. If you guys have, please pop it in the chat. In the member stream, I spoke to, I'm not going to go over stocks and stuff like this. This stuff bores the crap out of me. But we did talk to Lady Gravemaster, who is an absolute expert when it comes to Disney stuff. And they are in serious trouble. And again, I will point to a live stream I did. God, it was a podcast, actually. It's a recorded podcast back when I was doing those. 4 years ago, and I mentioned it before. It's called Marvel versus Star Wars. And it was, what if something like this happens? Who gets sold first? Now, obviously, it'll be Star Wars. I don't know if I did a video. I don't know if Apple's gonna. I don't think they're ready to buy anybody right now. I don't think that's a good idea. I think you should hang on to your cash reserves. Keaton Smith for £2. Why haven't any previous doctors said anything yet? I don't. Because I have been a little distracted with the comic book stuff, I haven't stayed on top of the Doctor Who stuff as much as I would have liked to. I'm getting caught up today. I got caught up this morning. I do believe, as far as the canon is concerned, I don't know if there has been a statement. We have gotten statements about Jodie Whittaker from Colin Baker and others, and we know David Tennant backs her. I think the silence is deafening. You don't think the BBC has maybe suggested that they go and make a statement, and maybe they've asked them, and maybe they've said, no, we're not happy with this, but we promise we'll be quiet about it. So the paychecks keep rolling in. That's my guess. There is no way any of them could be cool with this unless they just unless they're like Sir Patrick Stewart and they just don't care about their character. But I don't see that. Peter Davison cares. Tom Baker cares. He's gone through his, he's quite a journey, but he cares. David Tennant cares. I think Matt Smith absolutely cares. Peter Capaldi probably cares the most out of all of them, even more than Tennant. Colin Baker might be the one who would say something. Sylvester McCoy cares. But I think both Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy, they give a crap. They, listen, if they're involved in Big Finish and stuff, they absolutely care. That's a good paycheck for them. And that's oh my God, it upsets me. It's Big Finished for me. Anyway, I can't do that logo anymore. Now, I was okay with making my own art, but I will not buy anything now because any range that comes out now is within this canon. This canon that I absolutely reject. Completely reject. And if they come back, like I said earlier, and they do a full U-turn, it still happened. And they're not going to, by the way. That's not going to happen. And, Ian brought it up from Rebecca Gold on our live stream. Something I agree with now. It's kind of horrifying to think about. There is no... so say Jodie Whittaker regenerates into a black man, which would probably be my guess. Black, Asian man, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Don't care what color the person is. Don't really care. It doesn't matter. I think it's a male character. Skin color don't matter to me. And they still will get a bunch of clap. You'll like Anita Sarkeesian. She'll probably say so. She said something before. Even when it turned into Jodie, remember, she wasn't happy about that before, but she's, that's her job. New Marvel Super NPC, a genderless mannequin who contributes nothing to the story, but is drawn into every panel for wokeness bumper sticker reasons. Isn't that what Snowflake and Safe Space are? I'm pretty sure that's what they are. Hang on. I gotta bring them up. I need to bring them up. I know I have them somewhere. Where are my? They can join. They can join here. Hang on. There they are. There are my little kittens. We'll just pop them right down there. Snowflake and Safe Space. JPRPH1 for $19.99. Message retracted. JPRPH1, why'd you retract the message? Put it back in the chat, please. Please. Don't give another super chat. Just put it back in the chat. Let me know what you wanted to say there. No, why did you do that? Don't think it. Don't say it. Sorry. Sometimes stuff just slips out. I have no control over this pie hole sometimes. Problem being for £1.99. I'm sensing you're close to watching Blake 7. You are sensing correctly. I'm going to probably do a tandem thing of watching Red Dwarf and Blake 7. I have also been watching a little Farscape because it makes me happy. Farscape makes me happy. Do you think Helena Carter would be a great doctor? Miku Sweetie for £2. Helen Bonham Carter would be better than Jodie, but I think she would be a great Ramana. Or the Ronnie. Better Ronnie. I think the Doctor is a male character, is an established male character. I will repeat the argument. Please forgive me if you've heard this before, but there's always somebody new watching the live stream for the first time. It is not sexist to want a fictional character to remain male. A single fictional character. I don't care that they gender swapped Starbucks because it was Starbuck in an alternate reality of Battlestar Galactica that I enjoyed. And because it was played well and it was written well. And it didn't trample on previous Battlestar Galactica. That still exists for somebody to ruin in the future. I believe that after 50 years of a character being male, you can't just turn the character into a female and then still write the character as a male. Well, you did, but this is your result. And as I said earlier, PC and woke absolutely factors into Doctor Who because it's a mentality. It's a mentality that only allows you to write 5 or 6 stories. Duplicitous man, evil man, cowardly man, shameful man. Something like that. Variation of the two. Like Mexican food, except not good. And it boxes you in. Imagine your creativity is a room. It's a room. And you bring your woke mentality. And that woke mentality is a giant 9,000 pound elephant in that room. And it gives you which was like, say it was 1,000 square foot room. And now you have 200 square feet to work with. That's what that does. And it's clear, honestly, series 11 was more woke, but it wasn't damaging. And a lot of us said, hey, we want older monsters. We want some familiarity and maybe that'll help. And we offered it, but that was supposed to go with being less woke. Like we want older monsters and being less woke. And we want some more familiarity. We want a better looking TARDIS and being less woke. If you're going to do a female doctor, maybe write her like a woman and don't bring in an actor with no range, with zero range. So, is that a defense for Chibnall that he had to write down to Jodie? Possibly, but I don't think so because I've seen his other stuff. Jodie's now been in the role for long enough to where she should know it. And honestly, it's never taken me long to get used to a doctor. I wasn't crazy about Capaldi. I wasn't super aware of his body of work. I've heard of the thick of it, but listen, I'm a Yank. I'm over here. I don't see a lot of stuff. So I knew him from Torchwood and Doctor Who. I didn't think it was a good choice when I first heard it. I'll be honest. I was not happy. I grew to like him pretty quickly. And that's what everybody said prior to Jodie. Give it time. It'll be just like any other doctor, except it hasn't been, hasn't it? And the ratings have gone down I think they had one spike and they've just consistently gone down for 2 years. Again, there's no way to spin it. We can talk about Save the Day. We can do rewatch parties, and it's just going to remind people how good this show used to be. I know the motivation behind this is to bring people together, and absolutely, again, do it. Fine. I'm going to be coming with my RIP Doctor Who hashtag, though. Just to let you know, I'll be there. I'll be reviewing Rose. I'll be watching it. And maybe, I think other people are doing live streams. But I'll probably do one, but I don't want to step on other people's live streams. Thank you, Miku Sweetie, for £2. I appreciate that. Declan Lyons for £10. If you like John Pertwee, try Wurzel Grummage about a scarecrow. Am I saying that right? Wurzel Gummidge. Wurzel Gummidge. I've seen him. It's nightmarish. I'm sorry. About a scarecrow who comes alive. I used to cringe watching it, not because it was bad, because it's Pertwee's performance was so good. It broke my heart. I'll have to check it out. I do like Pertwee. Joseph Gonclaves for $2 Dinosaurs is going to save Disney Star Wars. I completely forgot, Joseph. You're right. Diversity. It's the 3 Ds that are going to save Disney. Diversity, and dinosaurs. Magpie Everspirit for £5. The first step to wisdom is when you can say to yourself, I don't know. Second step to wisdom, when you listen to others. Absolutely. And to paraphrase Gandalf, if you break something to see how it works, you have left the path of wisdom. Josh Krushek for $4.99. Have you seen Bob Iger has a masterclass? Yes. Found out from an ad on YouTube before a Geeks and Gamers video. Irony. Did it really come on before a Geeks and Gamers video? That's funny. I get Star Trek Picard stuff apparently. And I mentioned it last night, and let me know in the chat if I'm wrong on this. Maybe it's just my viewing habits. Every single one of my videos leads into a Red Letter Media video. Like every single one. And good for them. I like them. But that's crazy. All previous doctors, are probably all pissed. Except, you know what? Eccleston isn't. They effed with all of their legacies and the history of the show. Jodie Bowie for $5. You're absolutely right. I'm guessing Eccleston, because he came out and said the Doctor should have been a female before. And of course, he's already had his run. And I loved his run. I thought Chris Eccleston gave a brilliant performance as the Doctor. And I think when he goes to Doctor Who conventions, he should be taking pictures for free and apologizing to fans. I don't care what his beef was with the BBC. And yes, I know he had personal problems, which I have great sympathy for. And if you want to make things right and you want to show you actually care, because to me, it looks like his roles are drying up and he needs an income stream. He needs a flow of income. So he decided to embrace Doctor Who again and charge $90 for a picture. I would call that the very definition of disingenuous Christopher Eccleston. If it wasn't for John Hurt, you damn near screwed up the 50th. And quite frankly, it would have been better if you were in it. It would have had so much more impact. And you said no, because you had your head up your ass. And you know who paid for that? The fans. Now, again, the great John Hurt, we got the War Doctor, and we got the War Doctor Adventures on Big Finish, so we kind of won on that one. That's a good deal. And R.I.P. John Hurt. He did a great job. But it should have been Eccleston. So when I found out he was at New York Comic Con charging, somebody came up and said, "Hey, you want to go get Christopher Eccleston's autograph?" I'm all, "Sure." It's $90. I'm all, "What? What? That dude, he should be paying us, quite frankly. Pictures for free, autographs for free. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that. I did the Shatner thing in Star Trek Las Vegas. I felt a little dirty afterwards, although I got my wife a picture with Shatner on the bridge, and she loved it. So that was worth it. But they kind of brought us through like cattle, and we stood next to him, and he just smiles. He said hello. He was nice enough. And you don't have to get a conversation. That was $200. $200 to get the picture on the bridge with my wife was $500. $500. Now, and I don't even know where the picture is right now. I'll be honest with you. I can't find it. I don't know what I did with it. It's around somewhere. But I can't friggin' find it. Oh God. And that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Diamond just ceased all distribution. You hear? I did. Super Anime Gamer 01. That's a big deal. But, and I got to look into the details, so I don't want to spout off like I did with the Marvel discounts. Because on the surface, the Marvel discounts sounded good. And then, of course, my common sense kicked in. And like, what good are discounts if customers can't come to your store? What good is anything if customers can't come to your store? And I think the only way the comic industry can survive if the whole industry pauses at the same time. You don't send any product. You don't charge anybody for any product. Somehow the shops are going to have to pay their utility bills, but if they're closed, they shut down their power, shut off their gas. The cities aren't going to go after them. The landlords aren't going to go after them. If everybody pauses for a certain amount of time, we could come out of this. I think that's a good idea. So I'll look that up. Where is it in? Probably a Newsarama article, huh? Diamond doesn't like to put stuff on like their own Facebook or anything. Oh, it helps if I know how to spell. Newsarama. That is from, sorry, give me just a second, folks. I'll be right with you. I'm looking for an article. Nope. I don't want to go to Bleeding Cool because that will crash my freaking computer. It's such a trash site. Don't ever go there. And it's run by a very foul human being. Okay. Here we go. We're going to read this statement. We'll get back to Doctor Who talk in just a second. And this could crash my damn computer because it's stupid Bleeding Cool. Don't ever go to this site. Go to Bleeding Fool. Go to Bounding into Comics. These guys are antagonistic shills. They have written hit pieces on fellow YouTubers. And he wrote an erroneous article about me. It wasn't terrible. It was just wrong. Oh, Christ almighty. See, you click on something accidentally. Okay, Diamond Comic Distributors no longer taking in new comics. Diamond's Steve Jeppy confirms closure, no new comics after this week. Bleeding Cool. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to blow this up a little bit. It's a little small for me. Can you guys see it? Yeah, you can see it better. That's good. Let's do that a little more. Boo, boo, boo. Bleeding Cool broke the story earlier today that Diamond Comic Distributors was closing its doors for the foreseeable future for all new product as a result of the thing that shall not be named. and everything else. Steve Geppi, chairman and CEO of Geppi Family Enterprises and founder of Diamond Comics Distributors. I'm sure it's a very legitimate organization. Luca Brasi is not swimming with the fishes. Just confirmed the news with the following statement, in which he confirms the product intended for sale in April and beyond will not ship to stores in North America. This week will be the last week for the foreseeable future, while Diamond UK will now not receive anything at all, he tells us. I don't even want to have that on the screen. Sorry. The thing that shall not be named. As everyone knows, the world faces ever-increasing challenges related to the thing that shall not be named. It affects comics and collectibles and tabletop games industry have been felt far and wide. We are hearing from thousands of retailers that they can no longer service their customers as they have in the past. Many of them forced to close by government action or resort to in-person or curbside delivery. Even the still open are seeing reduced foot traffic in most cases, a situation that seems likely to worsen with time. Our publishing partners are also faced with numerous issues in their supply chain, working with creators, printers, and increasing uncertainty when it comes to the production and delivery of products for us to distribute. Our freight networks are now feeling the strain and are already experiencing delays, while our distribution centers in New York, California, and Pennsylvania were all closed late last week. Our own home office of Maryland instituted a work from home policy, and experts say that we can expect further closures. Therefore, my only logical conclusion is to cease the distribution of new weekly product until there is a greater clarity on the progress made towards stemming the spread of this thing. Okay. And I will talk about my feelings on it, on Patreon streams and on the Exozone. I don't talk about it here, but if you want to tune into the Exozone, I will certainly give you my, now I don't know much about the thing itself, but origins of it. Sure, I'll speculate. Product distributed by Diamond and slated for an on-sale date of April 1st or later will not be shipped to retailers until further notice. For the time being, however, we have been able to develop procedures with our teams at Distribution Center in Olive Branch, Missouri, to safely continue fulfillment of direct ship orders for the retailers who are able to receive new product and need it to service their customers. It's unlikely that orders will be filled on the same day they are placed. And these plans are subject to change if at any point we no longer feel we can safeguard our teams while fulfilling orders. Product distribution by Diamond UK and slated for an on-sale date for March 25th or later will not be shipped to retailers until further notice. Further updates with regard to reorders and other Diamond UK specific information will be communicated directly to their customers as information becomes available. Effects on Alliance Games. Alliance Games. I don't know. I never did games. Our shared path forward. Okay, let's hear this. With the changes in our distribution strategy, we will work with our publishing partners to develop programs that will address product already in the pipeline and will happen when we resume distribution. We know that during this time, you will face many challenges, and we will direct our energies towards addressing them rather than fighting and on increasingly numerous fronts to get product out. Okay. For those retailers who remain open in various forms, I encourage you to let loose your own creativity. For the time being, I'm going to stop right there. Shop owners do that for the most part. The one great thing about being a comic shop owner is you can be very creative with your business, and you don't need to rely on new releases. As a matter of fact, when and if I reopen, I will not be selling them. There's a lot of other things you can sell. There's a lot of other things you can do, but you can't be creative without people. Without people, you can't be creative. Sorry. For the time being, you will be able to replenish your perennials from Diamond and or Alliance, but you should also remember to stock You should also remember the stock you already have in your stores. If your doors remain open, it's likely you will have customers who will continue to seek diversion from events of the world. Special sales, promotions, and even eBay can help you bring in cash during this trying time. Product for you, which you've already paid, may well hold some of your answers. There have been many solid suggestions offered about how to help our retailers, and we will bring many of them together in future communications. I'm pretty sure the comic industry has done this in the past, like a mentor program. I mean, I did it on my own. I asked a lot of questions. I hit up retailers who have been around for years, and I soaked up as much knowledge as I possibly could. Diamond's not responsible. They're just a distributor. But I think I've always thought it would be in their best interest to find mentors for new shop owners. The problem is, like, Diamond's always trying to wiggle in just you buying exclusively for them, being a Diamond storefront, basically. And I was never for that. Besides the industry's most immediate needs, we have been and will continue looking toward the future. When we see stores reopening, bringing staff back on board, and getting customers in the door, we are looking at issues like debt occurred due to this crisis. We reduced ordering means for your discount tiers and the availability of credit to help stores through and after this difficult time. We don't have all the answers today, but we understand that many issues you are facing and look forward to addressing them as partners who will have an interest in long-term health of the industry we love so much. As I mentioned in the last update, the industry has been one of the greatest joys of my life. From my days as a collector to a retailer to today, I and my leadership team, who took a week to respond, I put that in there, have made these decisions knowing full well the effect they have on all of you, because you're the only game in town. This is the problem. As well as publishing partners and our team members around the world. At the end of the day, I hate that saying, by the way, the safety and security of our teams and yours, along with many other customers we all serve, is paramount. I again thank you for your ongoing patience and support. This come out today? Yes, it came out today. Brian asked for clarification on this on March 17th. So that was 5 days. Took him 5 days to say we're putting everything on hold, which is the answer. And when they come back, if they come back, everything has to be returnable. Everything. You're going to have to bend the knee to the stores. You're going to have to give them pretty much whatever they want because they're going to need it if they're around. And yes, I know there's much bigger things we got to worry about right now. Hopefully it's just this, but comic shops are important. They are the last, they are the end of retailing, basically. I know there's still Barnes & Noble out there, but your local comic shop was a place where you could still, if they're creative enough, they sell used video games. Some will sell used vinyl. Some will sell used toys. You don't have to buy new product at all. I found when I was working at the shop, I put out a couple of Facebook posts. I put a couple of Craigslist listings just asking for, saying, I buy toys. I buy trade paperbacks, trade or cash. And I had product coming in every day, and good product. And I stopped buying trades from Diamond completely. And I just went to a used trades program, and it worked out great. And people would come in, we'd trade. I was pretty businesslike when it came to giving cash for them. We'll just say that. But I always tried to be fair when it came to comics. When people selling, especially like their key comics, Bronze, Silver Age, I tried to be as fair as possible while still making enough money to live. But I didn't want to be a dick. But that's bad business. I was always told that's bad business, but oh well. Thank you, Pete's, for being open. Pete's is essential. Pizza's essential. Whew, that's rough, man. Diamond shutting down. Yeah, I mean, like, they can't have anybody working there. It took them too long to respond. And I'll check a couple of Facebook pages here to a couple of shops that I know were in trouble. I shopped at Blue Moon Comics while I was working at Tesla. That was my shop while I was working at Tesla. They are open. It says they're open right now. Nope, no update yet. So we'll find out. It's sad. It's really sad. Like I said last night, when I had to sit down and write that letter, to my customers that I was going goodbye, it was tough. Here we go. But back to Doctor Who. That was a little update. I know that's boring business stuff, but we'll get back to Doctor Who now. Keep up the great work. Love the channel, says the Kelvington for £10. Thank you very much. Or for $10. Sorry, for $10. Nettled Nerds. Hail, Gary. Found your Patreon. Now I am complete. Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, I've got to get to work on that one. There's old retired tiers I got to get rid of. Yeah, I have time now. So tonight is the first A Song of Ice and Fire review, and maybe I'm going to try to fit in my first Doctor Who review tonight too. I've got to do a super chat square up too. Thank you, Nettled Nerds. Captain Spire for $2. The box is in San Francisco, California Distribution Center soon. Awesome. Thanks, Captain Spire. I appreciate it. I got to check something here, folks. And listen, I'll talk more about the comic book industry on probably tomorrow. But quite frankly, this is it, folks. I think that's it. I'd like to tell you better news, but and if it was a healthy industry, I think a couple months later we can come back and it would still exist. But considering all of the abuse the fans took from the creatives, and now Gail Simone, Mark Waid, Dan Slott, you think they probably want some of their words back, some of the things they've said back, or do you think they've learned their lesson, or do you think F them? Do you think they'll probably be too busy blaming our leader for what's going on right now, and or blaming somebody else and not trying to take care of themselves or to help other people right now? Yeah, I think they probably wish they had some of that stuff back, and you would have a healthier industry. Now, would that help? It would. If they weren't so divisive, there would be a possibility that some of these shops might remain open. But now that we have real consequences of their actions, there's no doubt about that. I mean, that is A to B. Bear Nerd Fun for $5. Have a pizza on me. I'm having Pete's Italian roast. Good stuff. Hit 254 subs and 10,400 views. 1 year upload anniversary is April 19th. Hope you and yours are good. Wow, congratulations. Yeah, I mean, that first year, that's about how many subs I had in my first year. Yep. Excellent. Congratulations. Yeah. Here's to you, Bear Nerd Fun. Thank you for the $5, man. Voided Legacy, Star Wars Episode 10. How much shite can we feed you, says Voided Legacy. Star Wars Episode 10. How much shite can we feed you for $2? A lot. Absolutely. Aaron Friedman for $4.99. Hail, it's my second week on my new job, and now I have to work from home. Thanks for over a year of keeping me away from bad TV. Star Trek Pucard. Hell yeah. Hang on, folks. I gotta put a little title change here. R.I.P. Give me just a mo. Save the day. whoops. Bum, 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 bum. There we go. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. AKA Blonded for $5. Here's something to feed the kitty. Good to see you're live. Glad to see everybody here. And it's good to see you too. And I'm glad you're all here too. And we're going to do a live stream probably every day. I mean, they're not going to be 6-hour fairs. Okay, I'll probably go for a couple hours every day. It's going to be 11 a.m. after today. I just made this one later because the Inquisition was last night. You know, that's a lot of live streaming. Ditrius for $5. Gary, you got me into Hitchhiker's radio drama, and I also got the Lord of the Rings radio drama, as well as Star Wars OT drama. All have been phenomenal. They're great. They're brilliant. They're brilliant escapism. They're the best escapism. And I highly recommend it. Back when entertainment was good. Here's something to feed the kitty. Good to see you live. Glad to see everybody here. I already read that one. Thank you. Sean Casey for £5. Moffat ran out of ideas after the day of the Doctor. Chibnall is just rehashing stories within actress that can't carry the program. P.S. NCC 17OE saving the day. Saving the day? Maybe. Maybe. With UK and yes, I heard the UK's in lockdown. So welcome to lockdown, UK. Sorry, for those of you out there. I've been on lockdown for a week. Time to watch old Doctor Who. Absolutely. Farasha Ham for $1.99. How is 60% a minority? That was somebody spinning. I mean, it was a fake spin. That is fakes. It was somebody being sarcastic in the chat. Farasha. 60% is not a minority. The vocal mind, that's how they see us though. They see us as the vocal minority. We are not the vocal minority. Typical of the BBC passing the blame. I've been a fan of Doctor Who since John Pertwee. We can see with our own eyes the truth. Rest in peace, Doctor Who. Magpie Everspirit, thank you for the £5. Yes. Jody Bowie for $10. Hail Gary, watch the What Culture video about the last episode of Doctor Who, as they clearly said all the things we didn't like, but still give it a pass, which is total BS. They talked out of both sides of their mouth. That's clear. That's what they did. We're not going to talk about the woke PC stuff, but there was still a lot of problems. But did you see at the end when they talked about the ratings? Did you love how they provided no data to back up any of their arguments at all? Like not an article, nothing. And I know they normally don't do that because they just have a guy in front of a green screen. And he said, I'm a super fan. You know what? I'll say you're a fan of Doctor Who. I don't know about a super fan. I'll call you an enabler fan. Certainly an enabler fan. Thank you, Jody Bowie. Ridiculed reptile reviews for 20 Swedish krona. Gary had any, you know what, latelys? I do reviews now. Well, ridiculed reptile reviews. That's awesome. Congratulations on the channel. And yeah, I can't even say that word right now, or my live stream will get shadowed, which, you know, who knows? It might be happening right now. Actually, I got to check. Because something weird is going on. Give me just a moment. It'll be easy. I've got to switch accounts here. Yep, I'm still showing up. That's good. Okay. Thank you, Ridiculed Reptile. Congratulations on the channel. Aeronaut for $5. Does anyone else feel like we're living some bizarre simulation? It's very surreal, bizarre times. It is. I've never been through anything like this. The closest I can think of is that famous date in September, one day at a time. This is where you practice one day at a time. Maybe I'll do a video on confinement. And I talked about this to my members, but I have some experience being in confinement for long periods of time, and I could probably give you some suggestions. Arcadius for $5. Do you think comic shops are suffering because Marvel would rather promote digital distribution? Yes. Marvel would love to be rid of comic shops. They don't give a crap about comic shops. They don't care. Marvel cares about as much as comic shops as Chris Chibnall cares about what I think right now. They've always said that. Disney cares even less. The comic shops are a necessary evil to them, but if they cared, they would treat them better. I mean, I know it's a business and you're supposed to give everything the bare minimum so you can maximize profits. I get it. I was a businessman. But you want to cultivate your business, and you would think that they would throw them a bone once in a while. I mean, Marvel barely gave out comps. I think they took away comps at one point. I don't, honestly, I never wanted them because I never had time for comps. But yeah, listen, you're on your own as a shop owner. They hold some responsibility. I will maintain that forever. You had to be creative. Shop owners knew the sales were bad for a long, long time. There's a lot of action you could take. Move to a cheaper place, renegotiate your rent, shift your store focus, have more events. Events help a lot. Have a YouTube channel. The whole plan for Nerdrotic, the whole plan was I sold my store. I'm going to get this podcast going. It'll probably fledge for 5 years, and then I'll get a shop and I'll have a platform to base it on. And then maybe I can grow the podcast while I had a shop. Turns out that this grew faster and all that stuff happened. So I think it's vitally important that a shop have a channel and not just here are my top 5 books. Have a personality, hire somebody who has a personality if you don't, and have shows, live streams from your shop, make live studio audience, get people involved. People love interaction. Do TV parties, kids' birthday parties. Oh my God, kids' birthday parties. They pay good. They pay really well. And it's really minimal expense. Yeah, you might lose a couple of comic books to, kids touching them with cake covered hands. So what? Doctor Who TV is stuffed with Jody bots, so it's still yeah, that still is telling. Problem being, we were talking about the poll result earlier. Yes, it's absolutely filled with Jody bots, and it's still lost. The British percentage system is different. 100% equals 120% in the UK, says Michael Henley for $17. That's funny. Stargate 404, I have a woke allergy. Anytime it's in media I consume, I just can't have it anymore. True for Westworld, The Magician, Star Wars, Trek, Doctor Who, etc. Yep. Westworld dialed it down a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see. New Marvel Super NPC, a genderless mannequin who contributes nothing to the story but is drawn into every panel for wokeness, bumper sticker reasons. Didn't you? I read that one. Did it skip on me, Modalicious? Hang on. Or did you put that in there? Oh, it must have skipped on me. Okay. Well, I read it. You got it read twice, Modalicious. That's great. Jody Bowie, thank you. Cracklin, that's great. It starts with an earthquake, birds and snakes, an airplane. Lenny Bruce is not afraid. I have a hurricane. Listen to yourself, Churn. I saw what you did there. Cracklin for $4.99. I do not subscribe to that. I believe this is an interesting time that we're living in. I don't like the Grateful Dead, but I do like the line, we will get by, we will survive. If they said something, it could help save the show. Keaton Smith for £2. If they came out, you mean Dr. Who, if they came out and said, we're sorry, we made a huge mistake, we will undo all of this completely within the narrative, and everything will be back to normal, and we're going to remove partisan politics, and we're going to try to appeal to all of our fans, and we're going to try to bring the fandom together, I'm always open to that. It'll never happen, but I'm always open to it. Kevin Campbell for $5 New Zealand dollars. Welcome. Tennant backed Jody because he's best buds with Chibnall because of Broadchurch. He doesn't want to ruin his chance to appear in the 60th. That's my theory. I agree. But, I mean, he wouldn't ruin his chance. If the BBC kept David Tennant out of an anniversary episode, who do you think the vast majority of the fans would side with on that one? I would say 100%. Even the Jody bots would be upset about that. Geek Union for £1. Thank you for the donation. I greatly appreciate it. Super Anime Gamer for $2. Diamond just ceased all distribution. You hear I did, and I read the article. I did. News Around is an amazing educational kids show that tells kids that news on the CBBC channel. Says the Dr. 14 Blu-ray reviews. I knew that was you. That's awesome. I've never heard of it. Bastard for $4.99 for Nerdrotic family to rent Condor Man during shutdown on Amazon. I will rent it. Okay, I know you wanted me to watch it. I will watch it. Shade Draws for $5. Gary, I just launched my Kickstarter comic, Grimm's Girls and Fairyland Tales. It's doing great. Indies and fans will keep comics alive. That's right. Grim Girls and Fairy Tale Lands. I'll go check it out. Hang on. Grim Girls and Fairy Tale Lands. Indie. Is it Kickstarter? Kickstarter, you said. I'm not seeing it. Email me the link at GaryNerdrotic.com and I'll post it up. I got to take a look at it first, though. And SJ Almighty is a member at the Proto-Molecule level. Welcome, SJ Almighty, and thank you so much. And Jody Bowie, why did you retract a message? Yes, it was crazy. I was so angry watching it, she said. Disney owns Marvel. With this in mind, go. Thank you, Jody Bowie, for the $2 super chats, for 2 of them. Sorry you had to retract a message. You can put it in the chat. What's up, Lady Gravemaster? You missed a lot of I'm going back up, lady. I'm not done. I'm nowhere near done. Because it jumped on me twice. But thank you for letting me know. Disney owns Marvel. With this in mind, go to the WaltDisneyCompany.com and scroll half a page down to their About paragraph and read it. We're doomed. Is it something I can do lightning fast, Lady Gravemaster? Because any pauses are bad for live streams. Okay, we're going there. I'm going to do this in increments here. Carl's Rants and Reviews is a member at the Gandalf level. Awesome. You just missed a member stream, but you can go watch it right now, and there'll be another one Thursday, 12:30 p.m. Battle Him, 63 for $5. Sorry we got here late with Diamond and Disney's issues. What is the chance of new Marvel books? What is the chance new Marvel books will even see print? Lockdown to be stricter in the U.S. Slim to none. The comic industry is going to be paused for minimum 4 months. 4 months. I don't want to speculate. This is my guess. I'm thinking things will go on through the summer. Okay. Because I think it's been going on for a while here. I'll just leave it at that. It's been going on for longer than we think. It hasn't, it's been in this country for longer than we think. It's still getting started. Just be safe. The chances are you're going to be okay, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't be diligent. Take care of yourself, take care of the elderly, do what you can. And we'll just, and in these live streams, I'll try to keep you happy. I mean, this is big news. I want to kind of keep it upbeat, but man, the comic industry shut down today. It's done. It is done. And we got a Doctor Who movement that isn't dying down, even through all this. Could you imagine what it was like if this thing wasn't going on? Chris Chibnall would be, I think what he has done eclipsed what Rian Johnson did. But now that show's in question. The comic book industry is the harbinger. Okay, it's the harbinger of entertainment. This is now going to start happening to TV shows. You are going to see television shows get canceled. You're going to see movies get canceled. Outright canceled. They can put a lot of stuff on hold, but there's, projects that were just about to begin, they're done. I highly doubt, this is just my guess, there will be a Star Trek Picard season 2. We'll get Star Trek Discovery season 3 because I think most of it was in the can. I think Star Trek as a franchise is done. It's done. Star Trek Discovery will be it. Period. For a long, long time. Doctor Who knows? Is the BBC going to be able to afford this stuff? Are they made of money? It looks like, I'm guessing very soon the license fee will not be required for anybody. That's my guess. Boris made it so 75 and up doesn't have to pay. My guess is it'll go to everybody very soon now that you're on lockdown. That's an unnecessary expense. As a matter of fact, I don't want to get you in trouble. If it was me, I wouldn't pay it. How about woke Marvel versus woke DC crossover event? There you go. You can have Batwoman and Renee Montoya Question versus Captain Marvel, although she would just kill him. Versus Captain Marvel and America Chavez, and they would fight Thundercats, but they wouldn't because it's SJW. So all the women would get into a room and instantly be friends and go out for milkshakes and then sit down and talk about food for 72 pages. Cracklin, $4.99. At this rate, you'll have to open a comic museum and a gift shop instead of a comic shop. You're right. I was lucky. I never watched Doctor Who after season 11, episode 4. You were, Gary. By the way, that's a sexy first name. Well named, sir. Gary, you got to admit. Okay, can we talk about the name Gary just for a second here? Well, how come they always abuse us in Hollywood? We're always part of the ambiguously gay duo, or in Weird Science, we're always being accused of masturbation. It's just, Gary is always like, it's not really a strong name in Hollywood, unless you're Gary Cooper, unless you're Gary F. and Cooper. But I'm sure you could sympathize. You guys don't know how long I had to hear Gary, or I don't know, did you see Weird Science? Gary, you said you were combing your hair. It's IBS Awareness Week. What? Raging Festus for $5. It's IBS Awareness Week. Itchy butt syndrome has ruined my life. Somebody super chatted that. Okay. I'm sorry. I would take a bath, a little shower, bidet. I would invest in a bidet. You can do that for like $50 if you got a Home Depot near you. I might be investing in one very soon, unless toilet paper gets made somewhere. Lloyd for $5. As bad as the current state of the world is, this might be the big move back to quality entertainment. It is. No doubt about it. They were sitting on a huge bubble here. This, I didn't think it would end like this, but I equated it to the .com era, the early .com era here in Northern California in the early 2000s, when anybody who came up with the .com was an instant multimillionaire, and that thing went pop. Same thing here because of the streaming service. The streaming wars are over. The streaming wars ended on the 16th of this month. We don't know who the winners and losers are yet. My guess is Netflix won, just like I thought they would win. Amazon came in second, just like I thought. Hulu, luckily for Disney, probably came in third. And then it's maybe Disney Plus will hold on. It'll probably get absorbed into Hulu, and HBO Max, man, they should have just come out with that shite. I mean, if it's close to coming out, they should come out with it. All right, I'm going to check that, Lady Gravemaster, that Disney news. I'm in the about, and I'm going to go halfway down. And media networks that they own are Freeform, which is trash, ABC, FX, Disney Parks and Experiences, and Studio Entertainment, 20th Century Fox, Searchlight, Blue Sky, Marvel Studios, which is closed. Lucasfilm, Pixar. Yeah, they're done. They're done. But I don't know if that's what you wanted me to look at. I'm at the About section. Throw it in the chat, Lady Gravemaster, if I missed that, because I feel like I missed something. I do. My friend and I got a picture with Shatner for $95. Well, Jody, you that's better. That's way better than, I was overcharged because I was in Las Vegas, which is closed for 30 days. 30 freaking days. Sealants for 50 Danish krona. I would have loved to see more of Paul McGann as the Eighth Doctor, I would have too. He has shown that his shoes did indeed fit perfectly. He was a perfect Doctor. And you know what? I can tell you right now how the BBC can revive the franchise. Get rid of Chibnall, get rid of Jodie, cut your losses, and while you produce a new show, while you get a new show going, go back to some of the classics and produce serials. Go back to half-hour serials. Bring in Paul McGann for 2 or 3 serials. Any living Doctor who is healthy enough to play the role. Maybe get Colin Baker to do an animated one. I would do that all day long. And you would revitalize the fan base instantly. Oh, and then completely forget Timeless Child. Erase it. As a matter of fact, have Paul McGann's Doctor undo it somehow. And I want the TARDIS from the 90s special because that's the best TARDIS interior, in my opinion. John Hand 04 for $5. Fake wokeness is a chain to the Access Media /MSM /extreme lefties. If it won't let creatives of this persuasion be free-flowing with their work. No, they write in fear. Again, I'll state. He says, it won't let creatives of this persuasion be free-flowing with their work. No, they have their hands tied already. You can't write women with complexity. The only thing, if your actress is extremely talented, Tandy Newton, who plays Maeve in Westworld, she could have played a female Doctor. You want to talk about somebody who could have played a female Doctor? Tandy freaking Newton could have been a passable female Doctor. I would have probably given it a much bigger chance than Jodie. She's great. She is great in her role. And Evan Rachel Wood doesn't even belong in the same studio where she is. Tandy Newton acts circles around her. She chews up scenery, and it's with some pretty crappy writing, and she's still a Mary Sue. Okay. Dario Sussman, serials. Yes, not breakfast cereals, which are shorter stories. I know I'm probably dating myself, but there used to be movie serials here in the States in the early 50s, and that's what inspired Indiana Jones. So sometimes I refer to the shorter episodes, the half-hour episodes, which are a serial. But he says serials. It sounds like you're saying cereals. I call them serials. The BBC needs to offer a public apology. Yes. Lady Gravemaster Gary, stay on the Disney homepage. Scroll to the BBC pick. The BB-8 pick. And there's a little about expert. The irony. Okay, hang on. I was just there. Give me just a second, folks. WaltDisney.com. Oh, I can't find it now. Yeah, Lady Gravemaster here. Put the link in the. Put the link in. I'll add you as a mod. Put the link in, and maybe you can link directly to it. Yeah, because I can't be messing around with websites. Every time I start do that, I lose viewers. So, Raging Festus, thanks again for that really very strange super chat. That was pretty strange. And yeah, comic book museum. You know, I did have a museum, Cracklin. I had a Spider-Man museum. Had that for about 6 months. It's not a very good idea. It was fun though. And I put my Spider-Man collection in a 1,000 square foot place and it filled it. It filled it. Dean Slew, how do I say that? Dean Slowow for £5. After the master said he burnt Gallifrey, I dipped out completely. Your reviews saved me from seeing the wreck with my own eyes. Thanks, man. You're welcome. You're welcome. It sucks that I got to see it. I can't believe they freaking did it. I could not believe they did it. I knew it was coming and I couldn't believe they did it. I saw what it to BGO Trimble, huh? I saw what it to BGO Trimble to get Star Trek Dario. I saw what it to BGO Trimble. I don't know what that's to get Star Trek the original series to be rebroadcast again. I don't see it happening again. The suits won't dare. For 50 ARS, the suits will not bring back Star Trek. It's done. They won't. I mean, like maybe 10 years, maybe 5 years, but you're going to start seeing, like, if it's really popular, Star Wars, they'll be around, they'll make something, but all this Rian Johnson trilogy, multiple animated series. Listen, Hollywood has an out to cancel a bunch of projects now, and they're going to do it. Star Trek Picard will be one of them. There's no way CBS can afford it at all. They are bleeding money right now. Vanessa Lore, welcome to the Proto-Molecule level. Welcome. Loquacious Primate. Hey, Gary, glad I got to pop on with the member stream today and that things are going well and keep as well as you keep us entertained. What time is the Thursday stream? It is at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you, Loquacious Primate, and I will try to keep you entertained as much as possible. SJ Almighty is a member at the Proto-Molecule level. Welcome. Dang it. Hang on. Sorry, I'm having a little issue here, a technical issue. You're probably not even going to notice it, but it's fine. My apologies. I really do need to get a producer someday. I really do. I'm going to give it another shot. There we go. That's what I needed to do. All right. So, Lady Gravemaster, I'm going to waltdisney.com. I am hitting the About section. I am going to BB-8, and there's is it leadership or our business? Here, I'm going to go back and see. It's about expert. Okay, so it says stay on the Disney homepage, scroll to the BB-8 pick, and there's a little about excerpt. The irony. Is it their business? There's two on the drop down there. So there's leadership and our business. The mission of the Walt Disney Company is to entertain, inform, and inspire people around the globe through the power of unparalleled storytelling, reflecting the iconic brands, creative minds, and innovative technologies that make ours the world's premier entertainment company. Fuck you, Disney. Oh my God. Disney leadership teams oversees the world's premier entertainment company, home of the most respected and beloved brands around the globe. Bob Iger is still considered the top brass. Okay, I'm going to show you something. Look at this dude. Look at how tight that collar is. This is an over-image conscious guy. And think about what he looked like during his press conference. He knew what was coming. Son of a bitch bailed out. What a coward. What a coward. I'll never vote for that guy for president. And it doesn't matter that my votes don't count. I know my votes don't count. I know. To Carl's Rants and Reviews, welcome to the Gandalf level. Again, I greatly appreciate you. And Vanessa Lore, thank you. Scott Rainford, Doctor Who fix during Capaldi's last season. He was trapped in a room by Missy. His final season onward was a horrific nightmare DMT trip. Yes. The Doctor can even be affected by DMT. I will accept that. Write that fan fiction, everybody. Yes. What's a good title for a DMT trip? The Day of the DMT? The Trip of the Doctor? Yes, the Trip of the Doctor. You know, because we had the Night of the Doctor and the Day of the Doctor and the Name of the Doctor. We'll have the Trip of the Doctor. The Great Mark C. And that's how I'm going to refer to him from now on, is the Great Mark C. If artists Lee Weeks or Ron Garney listen to this show, please join CG. Sure, you'll take some social media heat, but you two could crush it financially, and I will echo that, Mark C. I would go so far as to say this. Start out being against current Marvel, DC Comics, Image Comics, business practices, which is adversely affecting fandoms, being vindictive, stirring the pot, gaslighting. Call that shit out. Call that shit out. You don't have to. CG is a hashtag. It's also, listen, it's a group of independent comic creators who felt like the industry abandoned them. So they decided to do their own thing, which is exactly what happened in music. I said this years ago on my live streams, that this will bring an independent movement. Being a student of trends, being a fucking nerd, basically. I used to work in record stores, record retailing, comic book retailing, and all that shit. You just figure out trends. And what happened in the music industry is when, and it happened multiple times, when it got overly bloated, a huge independent scene would come out, and the kids would go for the independent music because it was edgier, it was raw, it was real, it was filled with emotion, and it wasn't polished and pristine, and it wasn't PMRC. Basically, what Marvel and DC are and Image are the PMRC. They've turned into the new Puritans. They're the ones who complain about being called a snowflake, but will call somebody a Yahtzee. And what I mean by a Yahtzee, that is Clownfish's term that I've borrowed for the bad German people from World War II. They somehow think it's worse that we called them snowflakes, and they called us Yahtzees. Centrists who live in San Francisco, who have a wife that owns a salon, a Yahtzee. No, they called a rabbi a Yahtzee as well. Yes, they called a rabbi a Yahtzee. So what Mark C is talking, he speaks the truth. So Ron Garney, if you're out there, Lee Weeks, if you're out there, I can back that shit up. You will make a lot of money as long as you're genuine and you really believe it. Don't come in faking that stuff. People can sniff that stuff out. But if anybody out there, anybody in the comic industry who's looking for work right now, listen, you just be honest. I was afraid for my job. What am I supposed to say? But don't come in like a poser. And you know what? People will generally be kind. With humility. And if you come in, and you don't have to, there are no politics. It's almost like the Fandom is. There's no politics. It's the removal of politics. It's making stuff for everyone. Truly being diverse. Not this fake, because you're not being diverse when you're excluding somebody. And it's not just excluding white men. You're excluding Christians. You're excluding a lot of stuff. And listen, I'm not religious. Ashley Harmon for $2. Your one-man show is great. Hail, Gary. Thumbs. Thank you very much. I am going to have software soon where I can have a clearer picture and start inviting guests on. Cause, I mean, the Nooner is usually just the one-man show, but once in a while I'd love for somebody to pop on. I miss talking to Mahler. Mahler doesn't come around anymore. Maybe he's mad at me. Nah, he's busy. He's busy. Tim McGregor is a member at the proto-molecule level. Hail, Tim McGregor. Welcome. And hail Mahler, by the way. Mahler is one of the top 3 YouTubers in existence. Him and Drink are brilliant YouTubers that if you haven't subscribed to them, please do so. They are great. Man, Lee Weeks and Ron Garney are awesome. Mark C., Ron Garney's run on Captain America, dude. Oh, that was good. That was so good. I have some original art from that, Mark. I'll have to send you pictures if I remember. If I can find it. It's probably with my William Shatner picture. Birdie Eve for $2. Doomcock is cheating on you with the drinker. Oh, no, he's not cheating on me. I'm so jealous. No, I've streamed with the drinker before. That's fine. I was streaming with Bulls Trek on Saturday. I stream with other people all the time. I streamed with Yellow Flash and Bulls Trek. I've streamed a lot over the last couple of days. No. We love the Inquisition. We have an established show. We all good. And he can stream with whoever he wants. YouTube is a very big place. There is some shenanigans going on right now, but I think it's legit. I think they're just, well, I don't know how, but I think it's a little more legit than normal. We'll just say. I am rewatching 9 and 10 Doctor Who. It is so much better than the 13th Doctor. Morgan King, you can't even call her the 13th Doctor. She's cosplay Doctor. She's fake. She's the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker. Thank you, Morgan King, for 5 Canadian pesos. I want to save my artistic favorites I got you. Hey, I'm right there. I want to save my artistic favorites who've stayed out of the culture war. Diamond Distributor just announced they are closed for the foreseeable future. Yeah, I read it from about a half an hour ago, Mark. That's why I changed the title to RIP Comic Shops, because it's over. It's over. When they say foreseeable future, they mean 3 months minimum. They do. If this was a month, they would lay off. Now, if that changes and I'm wrong, I will come out and say I'm wrong, and yay. There will be some comic shops who survive. We're going to lose half. And it sucks. And yeah, I would say the same about both those. I loved both of those artists. So great. Good on you, Mark C. John Byrne. He kind of got in the culture war. He was one of the first people canceled out of the group, to be honest with you. That happened years ago when he was on a forum, and he made a comment about the Fantastic Four movie and what's her name, who was playing Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba. He made a salty little comment, and boy, did he get in trouble. Ashley Harmon, it's good to see you. Thank you for the $2. Mark C., you rule. Birdie Eve, thank you for the super chat. Morgan King, thank you for the super chat. Scott Rainford, thank you for the super chat. Let's get to the chat. Chat. Ensign Ricky, Robert does not know what the square root of 1 minus 1 is. Isn't that from Westworld? Dude, Ensign Ricky, I don't know what the square root of anything is. I was kicked out of 3 high schools, buddy. Doomrotic does not get you demonetized. No, but the other one would. Yeah, that one would. Xenoworks. That one gets you. I think YouTube has kind of gotten over Doomcock not getting or demonetizing people, because I've been putting it in some of the descriptions and it works just fine. I had a video. I dropped multiple F-bombs in that live stream when I was reading about Snowflake and Safe Space, and I went off. I didn't bleep any of those out. That live stream is monetized. So go figure. Eric K., what's up, man? Robert says, I like to watch. Okay, Robert. Keep up the good work, says the TARDIS Zone official YouTube channel. No. And his wrench. I will. I'm going to be going right to working on my video after this for my What Cultural Response. And I'm probably going to make a quick video on Diamond. Or maybe I'll just put that in a live stream tomorrow. And then I got to do a bunch of Patreon stuff tonight. So it'll be all good. This Diamond announcement is not surprising. Because based on it wasn't widely publicized that Diamond had offered the comic shops to put their accounts on hold, which essentially means we're done doing business. We're not getting comic books anymore. And believe me, taking your account off of hold is almost like starting a brand new application with Diamond. I've done it. Your first 2 or 3 orders will be completely fucked up. So now extrapolate that through all the comic shops, and it's going to be a nightmare. Everybody's basically starting over. All the stuff that's been printed, all the stuff that was in the can. And believe me, folks, it's early. We aren't months into this. Now, as somebody, I can tell you right now, as somebody who has been confined for long periods of time, books, live streams, books, they are your friend. And you know, I'm glad the stores are still open for now. I haven't gone out in public since the lockdown. I've gone on walks. I haven't gone to a store. I haven't done anything. I've been in this house making content. So Corey S. for $5. What is your take on the fate of the Obi-Wan series on Disney Plus? Still 2021 release? Hell no. 2022 release. Now it will happen. That series will happen. Disney, well, unless Disney's in shambles. If things go on too long, I believe Disney will have to sell a Pixar or something. They're going to have to sell something to get a cash flow, because buying Fox now looks like a really bad move. Huge Anus is a member at the proto-molecule level. Welcome, Huge Anus. How's your good friend Mike Hunt doing? She's a bad actress in a bad outfit. Yeah, right, Jody Bowie. Thank you for the $2. The Art of the Real. I'm still pushing Studio C and their Darth Vader Sidious series. It's not belly laugh worthy, but it is entertaining to Star Wars fans. Is it funny? Art of the Real? I'll check it out. I mean, I'll check it out because it's fans, the Art of the Real. I will not check it out because it's Star Wars, because I couldn't give 2 wet slaps about Star Wars. Star Wars is dead. It's dead to me. They're going to have to start that. You want to talk about starting something from scratch. But I'm sure the Let's Get High Republic will be great. Will be awesome. Diversity, and dinosaurs. The 3 Ds of Disney Star Wars. I am rewatching 9 out of 10. You know what's funny? So there's I don't want to give this guy oxygen, but it's towards the end of my live stream, so it's fine. There's a guy who likes to make videos about Jeremy. And it's hilarious and it's got to be a gag, because the person complains that Jeremy brings up like Kathleen Kennedy too much, or in particular Brie Larson. So just out of curiosity, I went to Geeks and Gamers and I saw, I'm like, how many Brie Larson videos has Jeremy done on Geeks and Gamers? He's done a lot. You know, I've done 30. But and then I went over to that guy's channel and I saw how many videos he made about Jeremy, and it's like 3-1. So you're complaining that a guy's making a video about Brie Larson when they're legit, especially that Nissan commercial. And then you made that many, and it's funny. So it has to be a gag. It was hilarious. I got a little chuckle out of that last night. Okay. What's this Darth Sidious series? I'll check it out real quick. What the hell? And what are they called? It doesn't come right up. Studio C. I mean, who is Studio C? Are they your friends or something? Or Art of the Real? Or Or is this just something you love? Oh, this is like, oh yeah, it's some corporate thing. Yeah, I'm not into sketch comedy on YouTube. Sorry, Art of the Real. Not my thing. Not my thing. I might check it out because you super chatted twice, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Studio C. Thank you though. I'll do it. I'll check it out for you, but I'm not going to check it out on the live stream. All right, so we're at 2 hours. We're going to wrap it up because I did freaking 4 hours last night and 6 hours before that, and a very long Friday Night Tights. Friday Night Tights will be on the website today. The Inquisition will be on Nerdrotic Live within an hour. Okay. Right now I have the Westworld review with Doomcock. That is there. I released a video yesterday about the comic book industry, and I will be releasing another one and a Doctor Who video tomorrow. If you are a patron member, you are going to get a review of the prologue from A Song of Ice and Fire. And within the next 24 hours, a review of the serial of Doctor Who, Spearhead from Space, starting with the third Doctor. And I will be reviewing Rose and a lot of other things. By the way, my big Star Trek Picard Season 1 review, which I've been working on for weeks, will be out Monday following Picard. And or maybe, you know, it doesn't matter. Right now with everybody on lockdown, there is no Monday through Friday. You know that? I released a video on Sunday. It did great. So, yeah, maybe we'll just do that. And don't forget the Star Trek Picard finale, 12:15 a.m. Pacific time, right here. And we'll see if I can beat Will Wheaton for like the 5th week in a row in views. That'd be awesome. The Art of the Real, thank you for the $10, though. I appreciate you. Corey S., huge anus. Thank you, everybody who gave super chats. You're brilliant. Yes, I'll be watching Red Dwarf and Blake 7, but I've got Patreon obligations prior to that. And, you know, once they invent the 30-hour day, or maybe I just won't sleep, who knows? But I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. We'll talk more about we'll focus on the comic shop. Today was a little Doctor Who focused because it's on my mind. Thank you for the 1.1 thousand likes, the 5 new members, and thank you to the Modrotics and all the members here. And have a great day. Be safe. Listen to your medical professional. I don't know if you really should listen to the mainstream media. I'll leave that up to you. I really don't. But I do want you all to be better. We will get through this. We will get through this together. And I will try to entertain you as much as possible. So have a great day. See you tomorrow. Not all who wander are lost. And may the wings of liberty never lose a feather.